everybody, welcome to part 2 of safe stretching and mobility. This is a basics beginner approach, or people who are more advanced. This is a wonderful way to come back to your foundation and just check in with where you're at in your mobility and your flexibility. So this video is geared towards deep stretch. So hopefully you just watched the first video and you're warm and all of the muscles have been activated and you're maybe a little bit sweaty. If you are not warmed up or you haven't done any movement, I highly recommend that you take like 5 to 10 minutes, just get some blood flowing, do some open stretching, movement of the hips, say hello to the body, and then come back and check in with this video. We will be holding these stretches for quite some time. Don't let that scare you, but it is better to have some blood flow and have those muscles have moved a little bit today before you sit in these deep stretches. Now, all you need today is a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have one, you don't mind laying on your floor, not a problem. You can roll a towel down as well if that feels good for you. I do recommend that you have some type of pillow with you. It doesn't have to be this large, but it should be fairly thick, okay? So this is a good bamboo pillow. It doesn't squish down into nothingness, so it's got a little bit of support. We're gonna do a couple different things with the pillow. And the other thing I recommend having is some form of a strap. This could be a yoga strap, it could be a thicker TheraBand. You don't want a really light one, we want a thinner or thicker one. I have this actual flexibility strap, so it's very tight, okay? Or even if you have a flexi stretcher, the flexi stretcher can come in handy for some of our exercises as well. I won't be going into details on how to use the flexi stretcher. There's other videos for that, but it does have these little handles, for lack of a better word, so you can use this for some of our stretches. Otherwise, you just need some space and an awesome I can do this can-do attitude and a bottle of water. And let's get stretching. All right, I am going to use my mat for some of these stretches today. Sorry, Maverick. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come to he's showing you guys how we're going to stretch. He's really good at it. The first thing we're going to come to is a low lunge. Hi, buddy. So I want one knee bent behind me and one knee bent out in front. All right, and this can be your comfort level. If you're doing this movement with proper form, this could already be a stretch. So pulling the belly button in, bringing the tailbone in line with the spine, and then engaging the glutes here so that we're coming into our center line. Some people might already feel the stretch here in the front of the hip flexor. If you do, awesome. Go ahead and stay here. If you need a little bit deeper stretch, I want you to walk that front foot forward, maybe at 2 to 3 inches. Keep this alignment, and then drop the hip a little lower. Good. Just find your breath here. Maybe the hands are on the knees for stability. If you find yourself wobbling a little bit, try to keep your eyes focused on one thing in front of you that's not moving. Good, and again, I'm really active here. I'm pressing into the top of the foot on my back leg, pressing into the bottom of my foot on the front leg. Hips are coming to alignment with each other. Belly button is drawn in. See if you can't let that left hip drop a little bit closer to the ground with every exhale. Releasing tension there. You might find that you have to walk that front foot forward a little bit more, and that's okay, that's good. As long as we've got the right muscles engaged, releasing in the front of the hip. Good, gently bringing the arms up overhead, only if that feels good for you. I'm gonna grab my left wrist. Now I wanna keep my shoulders square here. Try not to round them forward. There should be no movement in the alignment of your trunk. And I'm going to take my left wrist and pull it up to where the ceiling meets the wall. Just a gentle stretch. If this is too much for you, go ahead and release the hands back down. Bring your thoughts back to your breath. Let that front of the leg release. Good. Gently release the hands. Softly bringing them down to the mat. If that right foot was forward a little bit extra, bring it back in. Now we're going to stretch in the reverse. So I'm going to pull my right hip back in line with my left hip. And I'm going to send the hips back, flexing that front foot, bringing the hips down, getting a hamstring stretch on that front leg. Now, this is a great opportunity for you to grab your pillow, which mine was too far away, and prop it up under that front leg. So as I slide back down, I've got a little support in the knee here. I can keep a soft bend, still gonna get a nice stretch. Goal here is to keep the upper body lifted. Good, maybe sitting all the way down into that as long as the hips are squaring together. Maybe releasing the upper body all the way over. Just coming to notice your breath. Should be deep belly breaths. Good, trying to release all tension from where it doesn't need to be. So if you're noticing tension in your shoulders and in your neck, with every exhale, can you just relax and let that go? Any tension in your back. And as your thoughts wander, just gently guide them back to the present moment. Noticing your breath, noticing your body. Finding some gratitude and joy. Good, and very slowly walking the hands back in. And we're going to rock our weight forward. Again, just super slow, just being mindful of how the body's feeling. Awesome, and I'm gonna move that pillow to the front of my mat here. And we're gonna work on our pigeon stretch. So what I wanna do is I wanna take the front foot over and I'm gonna line up the outside part of my front leg with the outside of my mat. All right, so I wanna make sure that the outside of my right leg is parallel to the outside of my mat. Now what might happen initially is that you're gonna fall over to that hip, and that's okay. Just go ahead and lean over that way, make sure that alignment's there. Once you have that alignment, I want you to take yourself back center. All right, so bringing the hips back to being square, trying to maintain that alignment. That might mean that the left hip has to come forward a little bit more. Good, and square the shoulders off. Nice. Just breathe here. This might be a great stretch for you, and if it is, go ahead and just hang out. If you need a little bit more, see if you can walk that front foot forward slightly without losing the parallel alignment of the outside of the leg. You want to keep the hips nice and square across so one's not twisting or turning forward or backwards. Good, now using that pillow, we're going to take ourselves down and lay right on top of it. Good, and I'm just going to relax into the pillow here, trying to maintain that outside alignment. Just deep belly breaths. And as your body talks to you, just listen without judgment. Try not to label any sensations as good or bad. Try not to label where you are in your flexibility as good or bad. And just see if you can relax into the pose. Just let go. Release tension in the shoulders, in the face. Good. And slowly bring yourself back up to your hands. Good. And I'm just going to rock over to my right side here. And bring that left leg around. Bringing the legs out in front. And just shake them, especially that right leg. Give it a little love. Move some of the fascia around. Nice. Good. See if you can sit for a second and just notice the difference in your legs right now. Again, without trying to judge it or label it, do you notice the different sensation? Good. Nice. All right, and let's transition over to the other side. This is going to be a nice warm up into getting into some splits. So again, we're going to come into this low lunge position here. So I've got both knees bent, one knee forward, being active in my core, active in my glutes. This might be a stretch. Go ahead and stay here. He's such a show off. We know you're so good at up dog and down dog. Good. If you need it, walking that front foot out a couple inches, keeping this alignment here. Don't let the tailbone release. Pressing forward. Pull the belly button in. Just come into your breath. If you have a dog that you can lean on for some support, go for it. Maybe the hands are on the knees here. Good, and we're gonna reach the arms up overhead. And I'm gonna grab onto that right wrist. Again, this is only if this feels good for you. And reach up and away. Don't let the shoulders or the ribs collapse. Good boy, Nav. Still active in the glutes and the thighs. Good, gently release. Taking your time. And now we're going to take this same pose into the reverse. So again, moving slowly and mindfully through the hips here. Pull that left hip back to be in line with the right. And if you need it, go ahead and prop the pillow up underneath the left knee before you sit all the way back. All right, so I've got the knee supported here, which allows me to focus a little bit more on my upper body. So I'm not slouching, I'm finding length in the back. Then taking it forward. Nice. Again, deep belly breaths here. Maybe reaching the arms out long in front of you. Maybe resting your head on your puppy. See if you can't, once again, bring your thoughts back to your breath. And just back to gratitude, for your body today and how it's moving. See if you can release any tension that doesn't need to be held right now. Tightness in the back and the shoulders, and the head, the neck, maybe the face. Just let it relax. Good, and just slowly in your own time walking the hands back in. Alright, Maverick, you're gonna have to move for this one, bud. Again, I'm gonna make my way forward. Move. Good boy. And we're gonna take that front leg, so my left leg over. And once again, I'm gonna line up the outside of that left thigh with the outside of the mat here. So those are two parallel lines. That's my first goal here, is just to get that lined up. Then I'm going to bring the hips over so that they're nice and square, okay? So they're going in a straight line. And maybe that's just here for you today. Okay, stop. Good, maybe that's all the way down to the forearms. Maybe you grab that comfy pillow again and take it forward. Just make sure that those hips are square. And one more time, we're just gonna try to find some relaxation here. See if we can't come to stillness in our bodies and in our thoughts. Back to your breath. Bringing your breath deep into the belly. Release all tension on your exhale. Just sinking deeper into the pose. And again, just noticing the body. Trying not to judge it or label it. Your own time, again, moving very slowly, pushing yourself back up. I'm going to lean over to my left side here, release the stretch, bring that right leg forward. And once again, just jiggle it out. Let the muscles move, let them shake. No tension here. Nice job, you guys. And one more time, just sit with yourself and just notice the legs. Notice the hips. How does that feel? How does it feel different? Good. We're going to do a couple more stretches here that get us ready to practice our splits safely. So the first thing we're going to do is lay down on our backs. And I'm going to bend one foot, stick the other foot straight up in the air, and I'm going to be pressing into my shin here, okay? If you can't reach your shin, you can press into your thigh, but I think everyone should be able to reach their shin, because what we're going to do is we're going to lift up into a little single leg bridge here. So I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to push my shin into my hand and push my leg away. Here we go. We're going to hold this for 10 seconds. Push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, gentle release. Good. Other side. Lift it up. And single leg on the right. And push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release. We're going to do that one more time each side. Shake it out. Make sure your core is on. No lifting of the lower back here. Press it down into the earth. Weight is in the heel. Glutes and hamstring are active. And lift. And push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Last time, other side. Here we go. Lift. And push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Good. This is where you're going to need a strap. Maybe. You might not need a strap, and that's okay. I do recommend it, even if you do have good flexibility. Because we're holding these positions for a long time, we want to be able to really relax into them and not hold tension in other parts of the body. If you don't have a strap of any kind, you can grab a pair of yoga pants, you can grab a pair of tights, anything that's long. You can grab a long towel, okay? Just something that is going to help support this position. So we're gonna be on our backs. Options here. Strap can be on the foot, or strap can be on the ankle. Just depends on your flexibility and your proportions from arm to body, okay? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna press into the foot here. I'm gonna have a flex foot. With this stretch, you really wanna focus on the tailbone staying grounded and reaching out away from you. Yes, we don't want the tailbone starting to lift and leave the floor. So really think of it lengthening out away from the crown of your head. Now, what that might do is cause you to lift your lower back. What that means is that your tailbone is going down. We don't want the tailbone to go down, we want it to go straight out. So straight out, pull the belly button down into the floor. Yeah, so this low back is connected the whole time. No tension in the shoulders here. This should all be nice and relaxed. So if you can't reach your strap without doing this, get a longer strap, okay, or a longer towel. Here we go, we're just gonna breathe. And as we exhale, pull the leg closer. Feeling that opposition in the body. Tucking the chin towards the chest. We're creating length in the back of the neck. And again, I don't have any tension in my arms. I'm not pulling the leg in. I'm just pulling it enough so I feel that stretch down the back of the leg. My foot is flexed, so I'm also stretching the calf here. And with every exhale, just pulling it a little closer. Keeping that left knee straight up to the ceiling. Belly button drawn in. a super hyperextended bent knee here. There is a very, very soft release in my knees. I don't want this hyperextension, okay? Because what I'm looking for is a nice stretch in the calf, a nice stretch in the hamstring. Inhale, exhale, relax a little deeper. Let gravity have the foot fall towards your face. Keep the chin tucked towards the chest. Good, and wherever you're at in your stretch is good as long as you're breathing and there's no tension in the body. Good, gently release, super slow here, bend the knee, let the foot come down. Same thing, I'm just going to let it shake side to side. Maybe extend. Nice, and let's do the other side. Again, you guys, can you put a smile on your face and find some joy in this flexibility? We know, Maverick, you're so good at stretching. Good. Again, tailbone reaching out long away from the crown of the head. Maverick, go lay down. Go lay down. And as you exhale, just bring the foot softly towards the face. No tension in the shoulders, the wrists. Try not to have your chin tucked back here. So if you can, just take a look at me real quick. We don't want any tension here with the neck. Tuck the chin. Lengthen out the back of the spine here as you replace the neck to the ground. Keeping the foot flexed, driving the heel towards the ceiling. My hands are relaxed around my straps. I'm not gripping them tightly. Just enough to have some pressure, some weight. Again, allowing gravity to pull the foot down. Bring your thoughts back to your breath. Joy, excitement of something new with the body, or a heightened training, or taking yourself to the next level. Wherever you're at in your journey, just can you find happiness in that and be proud. And with every exhale, just letting go of all tension, all negative thoughts of the self, all expectations. Just be present with your body as it is right now, today. Good, gently release, bending the foot, or the knee rather, bringing the foot back down to the earth. And again, a little rock side to side here. All right, take your time, find your way up. We are going to do one more thing before we jump into our splits, okay? So we're going to work with bringing one foot in to the thigh, all right, and having the other foot straight out in front of us, yes? So once the foot is straight out in front of you, I want you to move it about 5 inches to the side, all right? So I'm not at a full open here or full straddle position. If I straighten my other leg right now, it's just a comfortable V, yes? And then I want you to move the cheeks out of the way. Get that extra skin out of there, move it off to the side so that you can find and feel the sits bones on the ground. Yes, we want to make sure that we are on top of those sits bones anytime we're stretching in this position where we're upright. We don't want to stretch here. I'm going to turn this way so you can see my back. Or there's this rounding of the spine and the tailbone is tucked forward and my sits bones are in front of me. I want to pull up, make sure that they're right underneath me, pull the belly button in, finding a nice alignment here. Good, again, so that foot was directly in front of me and I move it about 5 inches out to the side. Another opportunity for your strap, okay? I'm going to put it around the foot and I'm going to inhale, and this time we're going to point the foot and pull ourselves forward. Okay, you might not need a strap for this and that's okay. What I want to challenge you though to do is not round forward, so try not to do this stretch. I want you to think of getting really tall from behind the ears, kind of just the way we were on the ground, tailbone reaching out one direction, energy coming through the crown of the head. And then they reach in opposite directions here as we stretch out towards the foot, this time with a pointed toe. Now you might notice that this isn't just a stretch for the legs. If you're really taking a good deep belly breath here and letting the belly button expand, you might notice and feel some stretching and expansion in the back. See if you can release tension there as well. Keeping that tailbone going down, keeping that left hip open. This is another opportunity. If this is too much for the leg, you can prop that pillow up underneath. You're still getting a good stretch here. You're still focused on a nice long spine. Maybe reaching those arms out a little farther. Really breathing into the back, all the tight places. Exhale, let it go. Good. Gently walking the hands back in if you're all the way forward. Being mindful of that transition back to an upright posture. Extend. And once again, give it a shake. Let it move. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to bring my right foot in to my left this time. Okay, moving till I find the sits bones. That left leg is coming straight out in front of me. I'm going to pick it up, move it about 5 or so inches to the left. Then I'm going to turn towards the leg, point the foot. Yes, so there's this rotation happening. Reach over. If you need it, prop that pillow up underneath the knee. Use the strap. Just want to make sure that if you are using the strap, that yes, I'm going to use it to pull, but it's not this kind of a pull. It's not this hunched pull, all right? You really don't need a lot of tension to just bend the arms. As if you bend the arms, you'll naturally go forward, and that opposition that's happening from the placement of the strap in your foot will give you enough support. Just relaxing over into it. Again, noticing this connection here in the lower back on the right side, with that hip driving down. Deep breaths into the belly so that the back expands. Your foot is cramping from pointing like mine is, you can release it and just press into that cramp position. See if you can pull the toes back and opposite. And release that, and then just find it again. Releasing tension. And slowly walking yourself back in, up, and once again, shaking it out. All right, here we go, splits, yay. So we're gonna work on what I have learned to call yoga splits or parallel splits. So we're not working the way we would dancers where we're turned out, the same way we would try and get to our grand jeté position, which is a split with turned out legs. This is going to be a parallel split, which is also going to be super helpful for any of your turned out positions. So pillows, super important. I'm even going to use them. What we're going to do is we're going to start on our knees here, and we're going to go back to that lunge position. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start to walk the front foot forward. Now, the key is to not let the hip travel with it. I'm going to keep that hip pulled back. Keep the right hip pulled back, walk the foot forward, walk it forward, walk it forward. Get my hands down, pull this pillow under my knee. All right, you can have blocks here, whatever you might need. And then from here, I'm going to scoot the left leg back. Again, keeping the hips square. Flex that front foot and pull up and be active here. So the hips are square, back leg is facing down towards the earth. I'm not letting that hip rotate open. The right hip isn't going forward, it's pulled back and it's an even line with my left. And just exhale into it. Use blocks and a pillow, whatever you need here. Exhale. This should feel a little bit more intense, especially if you haven't done splits this way before, than working from our turned out position. That's okay. Just breathe through it. Remembering to learn and navigate the difference between discomfort and pain, right? We don't want to be sitting in places of pain. But being uncomfortable for a little while is okay. Good, and now I'm going to gently rock over to my right side and release. Slow, 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 slow. Shake it out. Good, and let's do the other side. You might need 2 pillows for this. You might need a block. You might need 2 pillows and some blocks. Grab whatever accessories you need to get the support that you need. The goal here is to not find this fully straightened everything position, but to be working from a proper form. So again, I'm going to put this left leg in front. Don't let the hips twist here. Pull it back so that they're square. And begin to walk that front foot forward, keeping the hip back. Just far enough that now I can get my hands down. Keeping the hips square. I'm going to slide that back knee out. Good. On my left leg, I could actually even use a higher pillow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the pillow on its side here. That I can have a little bit more support there. This just allows me to release tension and focus on my alignment. Yeah, that's better. And everybody has one side that's probably a little bit more flexible than the other, and that's okay. You might need to adjust your props for that, like I had to. Good. So I'm going, I can't see it because this pillow's kind of big, but I do have my knee supported and bent in the front, and then bent in the back. You want to make sure that that back leg is going straight back from your hip, not out to the side or crossed. In the back, straight. Pull the left hip, keep it in line with the right. Breathe, let it go. If you need blocks under your hands, that's okay. Definitely put some books under there, or blocks, so that you're not trying to push away and you're not slouched here. Just release tension, relaxing into the split. You let the shoulders go. Good. Try not to pass judgment on your body right now. It's very tempting. Just enjoy where it's at. Know that it's good. It's enough. It's exactly where you're supposed to be right now. As you exhale, you might notice that those legs are releasing a little bit more. Just make sure that you're keeping your proper form here. All right, and gently, gently, gently release it to the left. Come out of it slow, slow, slow. Awesome job, you guys. All right, I'm not going to take us through our center splits today. That feels pretty good on my legs. I hope it feels good on yours. This was definitely an intro to some basic stretching, some deep holds and releases. I will be I will be putting out some more advanced stretches later. You can always message me and ask, and I'll try and give you some personal tips if you ever need any help with it. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you drink lots of water. Put some ice if this was very new for you. You're gonna feel a little tight tomorrow, so you can wake up and do my morning mobility. It'll help. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.